Joe, our next caller that we have is Jessica from Las Vegas, who has a question about interventions. Jessica, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. It's thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
In the past, when you guys have done these Facebook Lives, I've typed in my questions, but today I actually had the opportunity to call.
Great. Glad to have you.
Just briefly, my husband started an affair in March of 2016. In July of 2016, he told me, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I want a divorce." The affair was an old girlfriend from high school. We were high school sweethearts, and we had broken up for like 3 months when I had to move away for a short time, and he dated her, and then he broke up with her and came back to me. He was supposed to move in February of 2017, 1,800 miles away to where we grew up, to live with her, and things started to implode. She got a little nervous, whatever. And I managed to convince him to stay, even though he was sleeping on the couch at the time. About March of 2017, when they kind of had a falling out, he started drinking again. And he had been sober for several years because I had threatened to leave over his drinking way back when. His drinking has gotten really bad, but it has worked in my favor because when he only drinks at home, he only drinks alone, and he drinks until he's almost falling down. But when he drinks, he gets angry with her and texts her. Well, my question is, I'm at he's finally, for over a year now, he's been sleeping in our bed, but he goes through these phases where he reaches out to her, they start talking, and then he does something nasty, and it, impending doom for him, and he goes into this deep depression. And when he's so drunk, sometimes he gets confused about who I am, and he'll lash out at me for things that must be going on between the two of them.
I see.
He's not become physically abusive or anything, and I'm not fearful. But I really feel like I need to say something to him about his drinking. I've just been sort of tolerating it, and my daughter and I go on with our business. But I'm afraid that, because if I'm the one who confronts him about his drinking, then of course I'll be the bad guy.
So you want to do an intervention on his drinking? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should continue to tolerate it until they are completely done, or if I should attempt to do this intervention. The problem is all the people that could do it with me live 1,800 miles away.
Okay. All right, when you think about an intervention, and if you're talking about an intervention for his drinking, I understand that you want the marriage to work, and I understand that you like the fact that he's sending her negative stuff when he's drinking. But the drinking in and of itself can lead to disaster. What I mean by that is it can deteriorate his health rapidly, so that just the drinking in and of itself, by itself, is a dangerous kind of thing, especially he's drinking to the point where he's almost falling down. All right. So if it were now you have to make your own decision, of course, but if it were I would not let the drinking continue, hoping it would destroy the other relationship, because the drinking in and of itself is so dangerous. So many bad things to come. Now, when it comes to an intervention, typically, if you look at the model that's developed by Alcoholics Anonymous and the one that they use, often they use, that particular model is extremely effective when it deals with alcohol. But the thing is, it typically cannot be done by the spouse. So I heard you say, okay, if I'm the one doing the intervention, then he's going to get angry with me. I get that. Typically, the intervention is much better done by other people. Now, what I just heard you say was, well, all the people are 1,800 miles away, and that makes it much more difficult, because intervention only works if the people doing the intervention, first of all, are people that he cares about, and have some way to bring about a negative consequence if he continues drinking. For example, you say a daughter. Now, if your daughter, and typically intervention is very difficult to do with just one person. You want more than one person involved, but typically not the spouse. And when the intervention occurs, if you have not yet already looked at it, go to marriagehelper.com. That's marriagehelper.com/intervention. I'm pretty sure I'm giving the right address there. /intervention. And there you'll find 2 45-minute audios that you can listen to that explain intervention from the beginning to the end. There's also an ebook there, a PDF that you can download. It's like 35 or 40 pages long that tells you exactly why interventions work, how they are to be done, how that they have to be practiced in advance by the people that are going to do it. Because one of the biggest things that makes an intervention fail is that people don't practice it in advance. They go, oh, we know what to do, we can handle it, and they go in and they do what they think is an intervention, and the other person rejects it, and then they're out of nothing else is going to work after that because they just blew it from the word go. And so therefore, people who do the intervention really need to listen to those audios and definitely need to read that PDF from beginning to the end and understand everything in it. Then they practice the intervention so that they know exactly what they're going to say and how they're going to rebuttal whatever he says, those kinds of things. And all that's documented in that PDF. And if people do that and do it well, which they won't do if they do it off the cuff, like, oh, we don't need to read that, we can do it. No, you cannot. You're being arrogant, actually, to think that you can, because this has been worked out over a series of many years by the people at AA, and they really know what they're doing. What makes you think you'll be better at it than they are? So read through this, think through it, examine it thoroughly, and then do that. And if you don't have anybody there that can bring about negative consequences if he doesn't do what they're asking him to do, then it's not going to work. If you have people there that he doesn't care about, has no respect for, it's not going to work. And if you think that you by yourself can make it work, the likelihood is that you cannot. It's going to fail. Now realize I may be painting a picture that you're going, well, it's hopeless then because all those people are 1,800 miles away. I'm just telling you what normally works. Now, if you want to listen to those audios, if you want to look at that PDF and then try to do it by yourself, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just telling you that the odds of it working are diminished dramatically if you try to do it. And if you can find those other people, but they have to be people that can bring about negative consequences. So if they live 1,800 miles away, they probably can't really bring about a negative consequence. So I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just saying that there's certain ways that make this thing work and certain ways that are probably not going to work. And so I know that I'm probably discouraging you, but the thing is, we always tell the truth. I'm not going to lie to you and make you think things that aren't true. But if it were I would find some way to do the intervention. And so sometimes you bring about employers, sometimes you bring about close friends. If they're church people, sometimes you bring about people at church that they care about. You said you have a daughter. Sometimes you would involve, particularly if your daughter's old enough to understand how to do it, you would involve her. And so there are different ways to look at it, but I suggest the first thing you do is go to that on marriagehelper.com, find that intervention stuff, listen to those audios, read that PDF, and then decide where to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
I haven't confronted it, and I don't want to, take 20 steps backwards after making so much progress, you know.
I understand. I do understand.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jessica.
I think sometimes, Kimberly, that people don't like my answers. But there's no magic dust. There's no magic phrase, or these things take work. And even I hate discouraging people when it comes to the intervention, but if the people that are going to do the intervention won't read the document and understand it, it's almost inevitably going to fail. And yet we hear it all the time. Well, yeah, I talked to these people and they said, we don't need to do all that. We'll just go see him. And it just breaks my heart that people won't make the effort to learn how to do what they're going to try to do. And anyway, I'm sorry if I don't mean to offend people. I really don't.
I didn't hear anything offensive.
But it's the thing of reality is reality.